Hey, Bookish Podcast name here with my review of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was very good. The only gripe I had about it is kind of boring at sometimes, but that's a problem with a lot of classics. A few things I want to talk about is how much, one main thing is how much I hate Katie Nolan. She's just terrible. In her thoughts, she mentions how she favors Neely instead of Francie, when she shouldn't be, when she shouldn't have favorites in the first place. And she lets it show too. She doesn't even try to hide that she likes Neely more, especially when Johnny dies. When it's chosen who is supposed to work and who's supposed to go back to school, she chooses Neely over Francie, even though Neely didn't want to go back to school and was ready to work instead of go to school. And other times when she favors Neely's present at Christmas time, the one that he bought, of course, he had to save up, probably spend all of his savings for it, but still, Francie found stuff and took her time to make it and give it to you, while Neely just bought candy canes, and he bought candy canes for everyone. And Francie made presents for everybody. I just don't like her very much. Yeah, she saved Francie when she was about to get raped and killed. That's redeeming, I guess. Not I guess it is, but yeah, don't like her very much. But to review the book, it more on topic than just hating one of the characters. It was about a little girl, not a little girl, a girl named Francie who is born into a poor family in Brooklyn. Her name is Francie Nolan. The beginning of the book, it starts out in the summer when she was 11, but then it goes back to before she was born, and then it goes from she was born to when she was 16 and a half. In that time, you grow with her, you grow with the family, you become connected to all the characters. It was really good, and one of the favorite parts is when you get her full name revealed, Mary Francie Nolan. It's the best part because she went to this play with her brother Neely and her aunt Evie, I believe, or Eve. And at the end, the much more fortunate girl named Mary came out with a big doll named Mary, and wanted to give it away to a much more poor Mary. At the time, she thought Francie thought her full name was Francie Nolan. Well, she lied and went up there and collected the doll. Everybody else was too proud to go up there. She was bullied for it, and she lamented because she lied. She goes home and finds out that her name is Mary. She didn't lie. It's one of my favorite parts. Mary is a fitting name also because of her innocence. That she grows out of it eventually, but for the majority of the book, she was very innocent. It's also a great name for her grandmother, who is very holy and innocent. I say not really innocent, but very holy and very religious. And of course, the name comes from, or usually alluding to, the Virgin Mary. There are some sad parts, like with Johnny, who, though he was a drunk, is probably my favorite character in the story. He was always nice. He always cared for Francine and Neely. He did his best. That's what he did. He did his best. He tried to stop drinking on multiple occasions, but kept relapsing. I don't blame him for it. It was extremely sad when he died. But yeah, overall, very good book. I liked it a lot. Hard to read at some points. I do recommend reading it. It's amazing how much Francie grows in this amount of time. It's surreal. Even though it shouldn't be. She grows from being born to 16 and a half. She goes from poor to relatively wealthy after her mother remarries. And she goes to college. She goes to college without going through high school at 16 and a half, which is very good. So, yeah. If you like coming of age stories, I recommend this book. Goodbye.